Welcome everyone to today's installment of Caravan Conversations from What's Up Chats. Today's will consist of What's Up Chats from the caravan departing on January 31st. I already went through the whole January 15 caravan conversations in WhatsApp. There's actually 500 and some new messages in that conversation, but I do not want to leave this one because, as you can see over here, just pick up my phone so you can just see the top. I have been removed. It says, so-and-so removed you. So I've been removed from this conversation already. Which means the only reason I can still see these conversations in this WhatsApp chat is because I never closed it. So let's get what we can while I still have access to it. And just going to let a few more people jump on here. For those of you who are trying to join this conversation, take a moment, please, and share this. This material disappears. A lot of conversations and posts are removed before I ever even get a chance to look at it. I can't send messages to this group because I've been kicked out of it. Not that I send messages to any of these WhatsApp conversations, but what is being discussed in these caravan conversations, what is being discussed in these WhatsApp chats is astonishing. It's astonishing. It's real. It is in the words of the people traveling in the conversation. I am not making any of it up. I am translating faithfully. I am a professional translator. I have been translating Spanish and dialects from Central America and Latin America for over 35 years. I am good at what I do, and if you have any doubts of the translations not being faithful, ask some of the other Spanish speakers on my feed. There are plenty of them, and they can tell you whether or not I am faithfully and accurately translating what is being said. None of the detractors that are coming on my feed, you know who you are. None of the people that are coming to throw shade and try to shame me for exposing the truth can say that I am not just killing it in my translations. They'll say a bunch of other crap. They'll attack my followers. They'll attack my listeners. They'll tell people they're delusional, hateful, racist, what have you, but they can't say that I am not translating correctly. I am doing everything I can to make sure that you are hearing directly from the horse's mouth exactly what is going on. Now, before I get started here, I want to recap something. I want to recap something that I did not get a chance to do in my last few videos. In my last few videos, we've been looking at these WhatsApp chats, and I did this last year. I'm doing it again this year. It's taking a toll on me physically and mentally because there is an inordinate amount of messages that go into these. Thousands of messages. We're talking about tens of thousands of people communicating through these WhatsApp chats. And so it's a lot. And I've learned that I can't start at the top of the conversation and read the whole conversation all the way down because there's too much. I'm not going to be able to read every WhatsApp chat message and listen to every audio and look at every picture from start to finish. It's not humanly possible. What I can do is that I'm going to try to give you a a a pretty good view into what's happening. And what I have learned from doing this last year and this year is there's a pattern. And I'm going to talk about the things that stood out to me from the past caravan WhatsApp chats and those currently going on in 2020. First of all, you notice that there are some folks coming in to the WhatsApp chat to criticize anything, to criticize the disorganization, to criticize the fact that the caravan gets fractured, that there is a lack of clear communication, that there are dangers that nobody has addressed, or issues or problematic people that nobody is addressing, etc. And what is true across all of these WhatsApp chats is that the organizers / coyotes of the WhatsApp chats and the caravans shut it down. They will shut those people down in a minute and tell them to stop speaking negatively. The last year in 2018, they were saying, in 2018 and 2019, they were saying, oh, you're racist, you're inhumane, and you don't have a heart, you don't have a soul. But this year, when people criticize the caravans and bring to the table the experience they've had in past caravans, they're told, we're different, we're better, those people were disorganized, we have now learned from our mistakes, and guess what? We're not doing what the old caravans did. So that is part of what I have noticed. The new excuse, the new justification is going to be, don't worry about our caravans. We're leaner, meaner, and better than the old ones. And don't talk about the stuff that happened before because it doesn't apply to us. The second thing that's really important to note about this is that something has changed, okay? Something has changed. I couldn't figure out who the coyotes were, but now I understand that there is a hierarchy of coyotes within the caravans. The caravan organizers and let's call them dispatcher coyotes. The dispatcher coyotes are the ones that are coordinating between a number of different WhatsApp chats and caravan groups. They're basically the ones communicating locations of crossing, routes. They've been in past caravans. They have traveled different routes, and they've been back and forth to Central America, to coyote people through Central America and Mexico many times. How do I know that? Because, as you have heard, they say that in these WhatsApp chats. I've been with the caravans in the past. I've traveled this way. I've traveled that way. This is the proposed route. Okay. So there are dispatchers up there saying which way we're going to go and who's going to be going that way. The second thing I've noticed is that, as I pointed out in my first point, there is a lot of disorganization and people criticize it. People don't like it. And it started me wondering how that can happen if they seem so very organized on the one hand, but yet there's so many people complaining that they don't have a clear place to cross, whatever border they're at, whether they're at the Guatemalan border or whether they're crossing through another Central American country into Guatemala or into El Salvador, whatever. The folks are angry that are in the caravan because they were told to go to one place where they were going to meet up with people. And what I've noticed is that there are sub-coyotes. These sub-coyotes may have traveled with the caravans before or may be new to the caravans now, but what they have in common is that they're traveling in a large group of 50 or more people. And because they are traveling in a large group, they basically, well, they have a commodity. People, bodies are commodities. They're commodities to the smugglers. They're commodities to the traffickers. They're commodities to the people exploiting them. So these sub-coyotes, which I have roughly estimated are traveling or are the voice spokesperson for a large group of people of, say, 50 or more, 100, 200, 300 people. Those people are kind of subordinates to the main traffickers, the main smugglers that are the dispatchers. And they're and I know this once again because I'm listening to the WhatsApp chats, and you'll hear a person say, yes, Beth, like a middleman, you'll hear those sub coyotes with large groups of people saying, I've got 300 people over here at this shelter, and I've got 300 people over here at this bus station. And another one will say, I got a whole bunch of people ready to cross here at this border crossing. And another one will say, I got a bunch of them over here ready to cross at this other border crossing. And what are the dispatchers doing to dispel the misinformation or to correct people? Not a whole hell of a lot. And that got me to thinking, well, how does illegal immigration work in the United States? For those of you who don't know, let me tell you. Illegal immigration in the United States works this way. There are companies, businesses that hire undocumented people. They know they're hiring undocumented people. They don't care. A percentage of their workforce is undocumented people, and it's enough of a percentage, if not more than half of their population of workers in certain industries, meat packing, certain factory jobs, agriculture, service industries, you know what I'm talking about. All those places that get raided from time to time, that need those undocumented workers because nobody else is willing to take those jobs, those very dangerous, very deadly jobs in many cases, for the rate of pay that Americans are offered. And so those companies have to make a deal with ICE, with the federal government. And here are here's the way it actually goes down. This was documented in a movie called Food Inc. If you want to go and look for some evidence of what I'm telling you, because it's been documented in other places, but I think Food Inc. did a great job of showing it. What they do is they go to the company. The company says, look, let me pay to play. I need to keep doing business. You need to look like you're enforcing the law. How do I keep putting out my meats or whatever product and also comply with the law? How about instead of taking all of my illegal immigrants, you only take 5% or 10% of them? That way I can replace those people pretty easily. And if I can't, the dent that you will make to my bottom line won't be noticeable to my investors. Okay? That's what these folks are doing. That's exactly what these folks are doing. And it finally hit me yesterday when I was listening to the anger of all the people in here saying, hey, you told us we were supposed to be at this border crossing, and now there's a bunch of people at that other border crossing. And some of those people were saying, hey, there's a bunch of soldiers at this border crossing. What the hell are we going to do? We're just going to walk into a trap and get sent back to our countries. And what was the response to the concern about the soldiers at the border? Hey, don't worry about it. If God wants you to cross that border, you can cross right on top of those soldiers and they won't even see you. Who sends a bunch of people? Who sends a bunch of people in to get arrested? They're doing it in Central America now. They're doing it in Mexico, and they're doing it here in the U.S. too. I have to find, hold on, I'm having a hard time moving my mouse here. I have to find the story of this young lady so that you can see what's really going on with all the people that make it. Okay? Now we know, and I've shown you in my programs of yesterday, that third safe countries means most people from Central America will be denied their request for asylum. The United States can now deny these people the right to request an asylum in the United States if they have passed third safe countries in which they could have requested asylum before they got to the U.S. Let me just repeat that. If you didn't understand it, most of the people in Central America cannot request asylum from the United States because of the third safe country agreement. What that safe country agreement says is if you come through other countries before reaching the U.S., you have to request asylum in those other safe countries first. So if you haven't done that and you try to request asylum in the U.S. can say, bye, Felicia. You can't request asylum here because you were supposed to do it in Mexico or in Guatemala or in El Salvador or in Honduras, depending on where you're coming from. So now people, most of whom are misinformed by the coyotes and smugglers themselves, to go ahead and come on in, even though there's these third safe party country agreements now. They're still telling them they can request asylum in the U.S., and many of them aren't so misinformed, they still believe that. For those of them who are starting to realize they're not going to be allowed to request asylum, they have said they don't care and they will keep on coming. But for those lucky few that manage to get into this country and run into a Border Patrol agent and say, I'm seeking asylum, here's what can happen. Okay?
Nunca se me cruzó por mi mente tener que dejar mi país.
Let me start that again because I had the volume too low. She's pregnant.
Nunca se me cruzó por mi mente tener que dejar mi país.
Cindy Santana left her country. You can't see the whole screen. I apologize for that because it's a large video, you see? I wonder why I can't play it in the other direction. Wait a minute, let's see if I can do this. Boom, open in new link. And we're at 25. Dang it! With these buffering issues, please have patience with me. So she said, I never thought I would have to leave my country. She left El Salvador in 2016.
Puse pie acá y dije, ya estoy acá.
She was detained at the border in Texas.
Ahí empezó lo difícil.
And I thought to myself, she says, I'm here. I'm finally here. But that's when things really got hard.
Que te llevan encadenada las manos.
They shackle your hands and feet. Cindy requested asylum. A judge ordered her to pay $12,000 in bail money to get out of the detention facility. She had no money to pay it.
No se siente como el peor criminal.
You feel like the worst kind of criminal because they treat you like one. Okay, this is important. I have to swivel my screen for this just because I want you to see this. You see that? You see what that says? Libre by Nexus?
nos reúnen a todos, nos dan un contrato, no todo está en español.
They put us all together. They give us a contract so we can get money to pay the bail.
Solo son de contratos, son quizás como 2 o 3 páginas en español.
There, most of it is not in Spanish. Most of it is in English. Only about 3 pages of it are in Spanish.
Todo está en inglés.
The whole rest of it is in English.
Ahí nos enseñan lo que es el grillete y dice.
And that's where they show you what the ankle bracelet is, and they tell us.
Lo va a llevar puesto.
Okay. Sorry about the buffering. Try to stop when it happens. It says you can't take off this ankle bracelet.
Es incómodo, pero hasta ese momento todavía yo era.
It's uncomfortable, but even up until that point, I felt like
feliz.
I was happy.
Porque estaba afuera.
Because it got me out of detention.
Lo que no sabía era que estaba saliendo de una para meterme en otra más grande.
What I didn't know is that I was getting out of the frying pan and going into the fire.
Lo que a mí me confundió era el pago.
What really confounded me was the payment. God, I hate it that is that better? Yeah, it is. Okay. Had to lean that a little bit. It was $2,400 for 20% of her bail money that she had to pay. Plus, she had to pay another $460 to activate the service of the ankle bracelet. Okay?
$420 son solo por llevar puesto.
Plus, you have to make a monthly payment to rent the unit and pay for it of $420 a month.
Grillete. No es como para.
The total initial cost was $3,280.
Ya si yo quería abonar a la fianza.
So when I had to make payments against my bail
de los $12,000, yo tenía que hacer un pago
of $12,000, I had to make a payment.
Según como aparece en las redes sociales, en la TV, lo hacen ver como.
According to their ads and how everything is promoted by Libre, by Nexus on television in their commercials,
una ayuda grande que le hacen al inmigrante.
It appears like they're doing this great aid assistance to migrants. They're doing a super job of helping migrants.
Pero mi opinión es que lo único que hacen.
My opinion, though, is that the only thing that they're doing. Why did it stop? Why did it do that? I'm going to cry.
Y ahora les vamos a mostrar nuestra foto del día. Son un poco más de $100,000 en droga atada al cuerpo.
En los pies.
Okay.
En las redes sociales, en la TV, lo hacen ver como una ayuda grande que le hacen al inmigrante.
They make it seem like it's some big help.
Mi opinión es que lo único que hacen es aprovecharse de las personas.
The only thing they're really doing is exploiting people. If you guys could refrain from sending me messages right now, it'd be up on my screen and they mess up my live stream. So if you're watching and if you're sending me messages, please refrain just for a while. I really want to get this out. Cindy pays $420 a month. Every month. Every month. An asylum case can take more than 2 years to resolve. Yes, folks, I've been telling you that it is an average of 2 to 5 years wait. Do the math. $420 a month. 3 years. Just do an average. Cindy would pay for 23 months $9,660 plus the initial cost that she paid of $3,280. That's $12,940. Her bail money was only $12,000. And by the way, the $12,000, let me repeat that. By the way, that does not pay down any of her bail. The initial $12,000. That's just for the rental of the unit and the initial cost to start the ankle bracelet. Okay? That doesn't pay down the $12,000. Are you understanding what I'm telling you? One of the things I explained yesterday, or that was in the WhatsApp chats, was a news clip where they were talking about the millions of dollars that all of the immigrants that are coming to the U.S. are sending back to their home countries. I don't think these immigrants are going to be able to send back money to their home countries because this is going to bleed them dry. Okay, here you go.
Me arrepiento.
I regret what I did. See, she regrets coming here now.
Me arrepiento mil veces
I regret it 1,000 times.
de haber aceptado.
Having accepted to come here, I regret it.
Salir bajo esa condición.
Having to come to this country under those conditions. Okay, here we go. 657,411 immigrants are going through this process currently. I mean, I hate math, but if you're just doing math in your head and thinking about what that multiplication looks like on this massive, massive, massive scale. When they don't have resources, they have to accept the conditions of contract through companies like Libre by Nexus in order to pay their bail. This is what Mark Lane and Minority Humanitarian Foundation are driving people to do. This is what Al Otro Lado are driving people to do. This is what Pueblos Sin Fronteras is promoting. This is what they're driving people with no money to come to this country to do. To feed these $1 million companies and the churches and the charities and the shelters along the way that are facilitating that exploitation. Well, there is a special place in hell for them, in my humble opinion. Undergone 3 investigations, has been under 3 investigations for questionable business practices. Amongst the accusations against them, surprise, surprise, fraud and lies. Okay, now to the WhatsApp chat, folks. I'm going to do a deeper dive on those Nexus people. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Let's go back here. Again, I am in the WhatsApp chat that's leaving the 31st of January, which I started reading some of yesterday and then stopped. And I'm starting at the top. I don't even know if I'm in the middle. I'm just starting here. And if you've just joined, I want to thank everyone that's on. I tried to message as many of my followers as possible to let you know that I'm doing a live stream. I'm having a hell of a time with buffering, so I'm asking folks not to message me or phone call me at this time so that I can stay on. Secondly, please take a moment. Please take a moment to share this information to groups, to your pages, to your friends. Please, no one else is doing this. No one else is translating what is going on and documenting the information that is coming into these WhatsApp chats, much of which is going to disappear. I am documenting it, and I am showing in the words of these folks what is really going on. So please, please take a moment to share.
Miren, a los salvadoreños ya les puso un lugar exacto donde van a tirar.
Salvadorians already know where they're going to be crossing. Tirar is to fall or to jump, okay? Because this is important that you understand when they're talking about a dónde se van a tirar, where are you going to fall? They're talking about border crossings. Where are they going to cross at? Because, you know, what happens when you climb the border wall? Well, you got to fall on the other side, right?
Ellos se van a agarrar para Chiquimula.
They're going to go to Chiquimula, the people from El Salvador.
Deben de eso sacar a la gente de El Salvador, déjenlas que busquen su ruta a ellos.
The people from leaving from El Salvador, let them find their own route, okay?
Ellos ya saben por dónde van a tirar.
They already know where they're going to be crossing.
Buenas tardes, señores. Me acaban de contar que el famoso Lester está metido en el grupo de nosotros.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I was just informed that the famous Lester is in this WhatsApp chat.
Hay que tener mucho cuidado con Lester.
We must be very careful about Lester.
Está metido en el grupo de nosotros con otro número.
He's using a different number and has infiltrated our group.
Hay que tener mucho cuidado. Ten cuidado que ese vende personas.
You have to be very, very careful with him because he sells people. He sells people. This person, which is one of the people that I believe is either one of the top, one of the dispatch coyotes or one of the underlings, you find out who they are. Yesterday, if you were watching my video, Lester was one of the ones that was, directing people and telling people what to do. And I said, I bet you Lester is a smuggler. This man just confirmed it. Watch out for Lester. He sells people. So nonchalant. Welcome to the morning chat in this group. There's a molester out there. Watch out for him. Lester the molester.
Buenas tardes, señores. Me acaban de contar que el famoso Lester está metido en el grupo de nosotros.
Oh, shoot. That's just a copy of it. Same thing. And this person asks, what is Lester? They obviously have not heard of who he is. He was directing the caravan that left on the 15th. And he was directing a group within that caravan that took off on a different direction and no one knows where they went. Which is why we're telling you to be very careful.
Ahorita me informaron a mí que Lester está infiltrado en uno de los grupos de nosotros. No sé en cuál de todos, pero ahí está metido. Ahorita me informaron a mí que Lester está infiltrado en uno de los grupos de nosotros.
What? There's so much background noise I can't hear. He said they had just informed me that Lester is...
Ahorita me informaron a mí que Lester está infiltrado en uno de los grupos de nosotros. No sé en cuál de todos, pero ahí está metido.
Oh, he's infiltrated in this and some other groups. I don't know which other groups he's also infiltrated in. So, remember when I told you that some of these smugglers and their subordinates are taking people and turning them over to the authorities and selling them and exploiting them? It's part of business. Some of your merchandise you're going to turn over to the cartels. Some of your merchandise you are going to turn over to the gangs. Some of your merchandise will be turned over directly to the authorities so that they look like they're doing their jobs and they're getting people deported and arrested and picked up. And they're going to pick and choose which ones of those groups are going to be the ones that are going to go. And you know how I know? He just told you that. He just told you. Sells people. Listen again.
Hay que tener mucho cuidado con Lester. Está metido en el grupo de nosotros con otro número. Hay que tener mucho cuidado. Ten cuidado que ese vende personas.
Ese vende personas. He sells people. That is human trafficking. Okay? Smuggling. I think he's probably selling people to bad people, I'm guessing. Okay, and it says, is it true that they were detained in Guatemala or not? Look, messages have been deleted. Do you see that the guy, the Dios me guarde guy, the one that was talking about Lester, the molester, they delete messages all the time. And I've already been removed from this group in case you didn't hear this before, just got here. The caravan de 31 de enero number 2 has removed you. See that? I got removed already. So the fact that I kept this open is the only reason I'm still interacting with it. And that's why I'm doing this right now, because when I close this thing, I'm out. They figure out pretty quickly that that I'm not part of the caravan. And I think that the news gets out, because of all you lovely people sharing my videos, that I'm in their WhatsApp chat, and then they kick me out. So, but that's cool. We'll do what we can. So, in here, let's see what this is. La cosa aquí, mi gente, es no creer en el así de sencillo. Why can't I see this? Oh, maybe I'm not allowed to interact with any of the stuff in here anymore. Okay, folks, I can't really touch it, so I don't know what's in this photo. We already know who that is. Guillen Gonzalez says, friends, I am an elder, but I only have my birth certificate and some diplomas, but I don't have an ID card. Do you guys think that I could still cross? I lost my ID, but I'm ready to go. Yeah, your birth certificate's enough. Go to a civil registry, a courthouse or whatever, and get your ID, and that has a countersign on it and a picture that's on it that's valid. And somebody responds to that comment saying, "Yep, you still have time to do it."
Con la contraseña, hombre, solicite la identidad para que le tiren la contraseña. Con la contraseña creo que se puede ir.
I
Con la
think
contraseña, hombre.
as long as you get a countersign on your ID, you should be good to go.
Voy a ser sincero con varios. Yo el día que voy al registro, yo pregunté que se de la contraseña.
He's talking about the ID as well. He must be on a train or something. I can't hear anything he's saying. I can barely hear that. And there's no way to boost the sound any louder. But you know what I am going to do? Hold on, folks. I'm going to try to capture this because I'm going to use my handy dandy recorder here. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry about that, folks, but I'm recording here. One more, just in case this one is the same or not loud. Okay, folks, now I can tell you what's going on. Duke, can you take this recording, the last one that I made on there, and boost the sound of it as much as you can to see if we can figure out what the hell they're talking about? So what I could pick out from those two recordings is that Dios me guarde, who I think is one of the coordinating smugglers in this conversation, is recording a phone call between two people. There are two other people talking in this phone call, and they're talking about logistics. They're talking about the migrants. I heard the word aduana, which means border crossing or border agent. I heard agentes de aduana, and I heard treating them like humans, and I heard the word extortion several times. So this was I don't know if it was someone else's private conversation, but they're definitely talking about the caravan, and this person recorded someone else's conversation and put it into this chat for the people that are in this caravan to hear for a reason. So I'm going to try and boost the sound on that and figure out what it says and tell you about it later.
Bueno, pues digan ahí, confirmen ahí quién es el mero que esté encargado para salir, convocarse con él para ir a la caravana el 31 de este mes, porque yo ya estoy dispuesta a salir con mis 2 bebés.
Can somebody please confirm who the head honcho is in this group that's going to be leading the people out on the 31st? Because I'm ready to go with my 2 kids. Thanks, friends, says Guillen Gonzalez. I'm ready to leave with a little, very, very little bit of money, but I'm going, friends. I hope that we are very united and that we're awake and that we don't cause a bunch of problems like our predecessors. Bartolo, he's talking about Bartolo Fuentes, okay? The dude that I have been showing you is one of the greatest instigators in Honduras of the caravans. He was the guy in the video that I translated for you when I did my first show of 2020 called 2020 Plan. That dude. And Dios me guarde, frequent commenter in here, says, Bartolo has washed his hands. I better not say any more. Always trying to help. Always trying to get them to see things as we do, but they really don't care. Anyway, if you can't tell, they're attacking the migrants themselves with this so-called Lester. And Guillen says, well, I would have to surround myself with people that know where that's why I don't want to get far away from the group.
Oiga, bien, mi gente, este auto lo va a arrendar a nuestro grupo. Supuestamente la gente que iba en la caravana del 15 están atacando a Bartolo. ¿Por qué? Por el estado Lester, que los engañó y los dejó tirados a todos.
He's saying that the reason he's saying that they're attacking the caravan is because this Lester dude misled people and left them stranded. And I have noticed that a lot of the people that are the dispatchers and the key smugglers, well, probably because they're traveling, but I think they use background noise, music or whatever to sort of mask their voices and make it much harder for people to decipher what they're saying.
Destacando todos los pasos al pobre Bartolo, pero eso le pasa por confiar en el Lester. Pasos al pobre, destacando todos los pasos al pobre Bartolo, pero eso le pasa por confiar en el Lester.
I couldn't understand that.
Oiga, bien, mi gente, este auto lo va a arrendar a nuestro grupo. Supuestamente la gente que iba en la caravana del 15 están atacando a Bartolo. ¿Por qué? Por el estado Lester, que los engañó y los dejó tirados a todos.
Oh, it's the same thing. That is a repeat. I just figured that out. What? Is this the same amount of time? 719. Is this the same amount of time as this one up here? Nope. This one's different. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to record again. I got to figure out what's in that phone call that he's recording, because he's recording another phone call there. Okay, here we go. Let's record this. See if we can boost the sound on it. Okay, I'm going to see if this one's the same. Okay, now I can't tell because it's so dang quiet if that was different or new or what, but here's that other recording. See if you can boost those. Okay, and this was forwarded by this guy, Dios me guarda, and he says, liar, whoever's talking on here, he thinks is full of crap. And then this says, Caravana migrante, situación de los niños y niños en los puntos fronterizos. Niñas y niños con impedimentos salida de la frontera de Aguacaliente o Cotepeque. 221 children or minors with handicap left the border of Aguacaliente o Cotepeque. 19 children or minors with some impediment or handicap left the border of El Florido Copan, and 42 children with handicaps or impediments left the border at Corinto Cortés. Children with some handicap, not just traveling with ordinary, everyday, minor children. There's children with handicaps. We've seen this. Children with, medical conditions that their parents are bringing them to the United States to treat. Children that have muscular dystrophy, children that are MMR, children that are, all sorts of different disabilities. They're bringing people with disabilities, children with disabilities, in pretty substantial numbers, folks. And someone says the government, to this news report, this is on TV in the news, right? And the person next to that comment says this is all government lies. And for the person asking who's in charge of the caravan, Cardenas responds, no one is in charge of the caravan. Just follow it and that's it. Where's the caravan that left on the 15th? We want to know that. I think that they're in El Ceibo now, but they've gotten split up.
Sí, la mayoría de las personas están ahí en Ceibo. En Ceibo están la mayoría de las personas, los que se fueron primero.
The ones that left first. Cardenas is definitely one of the directors in here because he knows where everyone is. He's telling everybody that the rest of the caravan is in Ceibo.
Dicen que van hasta el sábado, por muy tardar, van a esperar a las personas que vienen atrás. Entonces,
so they're going to stay there until Saturday to wait for the people that are catching up to them.
Están allá en la casa de migrante y gente que trata de salir, pues los van a esperar hasta el sábado ahí en la mera.
For the people that are at the migrant shelter, the Casa Migrante, to show up, and anybody else that wants to catch up with them, they'll be there till Saturday.
La frontera en el Ceibón, vivos pues.
¿Qué tal amigos? Buenas noches. Miren, aquí les saludo de la capital aquí en Guatemala.
Hey everybody, I'm saying hi to you from the capital of Guatemala.
Nosotros Dios primero mañana vamos a salir y que nos esperen ahí va. Aproximadamente nosotros vamos a estar llegando con eso a las 6:30 de la mañana.
So we'll be arriving around 6:30 in the morning. We want you to wait for us there.
En Ceibo.
In Ceibo.
Vamos a hacer todo lo posible. Dios primero.
We're going to do everything possible to get there, God willing.
Gracias.
Mary Bailey is asking about organ trafficking. Yesterday, go back and watch my show yesterday, Mary. That was one of the warnings in the WhatsApp chat that there are folks that are trafficking organs within the caravan. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. There's all sorts of things that are happening. Go back and watch the beginning of the show. When I say that there is a certain percent, that these traffickers and smugglers, the price of doing business is that they have to turn over a percentage of their cargo to the authorities. All along the way, it's the cost of doing business. But the smugglers and that's why there's no organizers. That's why there's no boss in here. That's why all day, every time someone asks who's leading the caravan, even though we know there are leaders, even though we know there are coyotes, they're never going to say, we're doing it. I'm the one. Because Nobody is responsible when they say, oh, well, 300 people got stranded and left behind by Lester, or this many people got handed over to the authorities or walked into an ambush and then deported or sold to the cartel or kidnapped and extorted for money. Nobody's going to say that, but that's exactly what happens. These smugglers are unscrupulous. They will randomly select a group of people and turn them over to the cartels or turn them over to other gangs or turn them over to the authorities because it's the cost of doing business. That's how it works. This person says, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to really put your heads together. I want to go, but I want friends. I'm with some friends. We need to be exact on our points of meeting. On the day and the hour that is being given. We are leaving on the 31st. We agreed to meet up at Chiquimula. And up till this moment, we're all okay with that. The problem I see is that our Honduran brothers will not define concretely what border they're going to cross. And we must, because we have to choose the safest border crossing for women and children and elders. And we have to choose wisely each thing. Time is flying and we have to be prepared. And I'm saying this because if we never agree, we're never going to be prepared for the road. That's why we have questions, doubts. There will be many people with doubts because they're not well prepared. One more thing. Be careful of the delinquents. There are bad people that want to hurt the caravan. Never fall asleep on anything. You always have to be woke. And you have to react quickly to whatever strange thing presents itself for the security of everyone. Older people, Annie. They're referring to older folks here, I believe. Because yes, they are traveling with octogenarians even. They put one in a raft and crossed her across the Rio Grande. Remember that, Duke? We saw that. It was crazy. Oh man, you said hi to everybody when it was buffering. They probably didn't even hear you. But you'll notice they're not going to be clear about the border crossing. They'll never be clear about the border crossing because some of the people will be turned over to the authorities at one of these border crossings. And they ain't going to tell them, just walk up to the guards or the police and turn yourselves over because you're the sacrifice this time. You're the tribute. They're just going to tell these folks, oh no, it'll be fine. If God is with you, who can be against you? Blah, blah, blah. Same old song and dance. So it's true. There's going to be another caravan on the 31st. Yes, it is. How many people are on Tucumuman? And when are they crossing the Suchiate River so we can meet up with them? Because there's rumors that there wasn't going to be a caravan. Let's be clear. Let us be clear. We're like the group that left on the 15th and someone cries. There will be more. Yes. Good luck to everyone. My experience with the caravan. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to copy that and put it over here. Open this crap somewhere else. What is this?
No me parece justo que muchas personas los estén agrediendo por redes sociales están opinando, los están insultando y no me parece justo eso, porque cada quien sabe lo que se pone, cada quien sabe el peligro que se corre en esa caravana.
Holy tamale, wow. Wow. I am astonished by what this woman is saying. This is called My Caravan Experience Part 1. She says, I don't think it's fair. She's reading from a phone. This woman, this girl, is reading a script. Do you see this? I don't think, she's saying, I've seen a lot of people attacking us on social media for being in the caravan, and I don't think it's fair because everyone chooses their own destiny, because everyone knows the risks that they are undertaking for themselves.
Caravana, todo ese trayecto es muy difícil, es cierto.
The journey is very hard, sure.
Pero uno no le puede venir a faltar el respeto a las personas de puro gusto.
But you can't just go around disrespecting people. You mean warning them? Do you mean warning them of the perils, of the dangers, of the illegality, of the damage? Is that what you mean? Do you mean you don't want anybody to tell you what the hell awaits you? Where's the smuggler sponsor? I want to see the smuggler sponsor. There's a smuggler sponsoring this commercial. This is a commercial by human traffickers and smugglers.
Y vamos a leer algunos de los mensajes que he visto en
I'm going to read some of the ugly comments that I've seen.
muchos medios de comunicación que cómo los agreden, dicen es atajo de haraganes. Yo le pregunté en un comentario a una señora, ¿usted los conoce a todos?
They say that we're a bunch of bad people, and I asked one of the women, do you know all of us personally?
No, ¿verdad? Bueno,
Obviously not, right?
entonces, ¿por qué dice que todos son haraganes?
Why do you say we're all lazy then?
Tal vez ellos son personas que no han estudiado, tal vez ellos son personas que ellos no tuvieron la oportunidad de estudiar.
Maybe they're people that didn't study or didn't have a chance to study,
No tienen un empleo
and they don't have a job,
o quedaron desempleados.
or maybe they lost their job.
Pero es fácil juzgar, es fácil opinar,
It's easy to opine and it's easy to speak up.
pero es bien difícil uno ponerse en los zapatos de esas personas.
But you know what isn't easy? Putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
Voy a leer algunos comentarios, dice.
I'm going to read some comments.
Esa muchacha está arriesgando su vida junto con la de su hija.
Oh! Here's one of the comments. I nailed it on the head. The comment, this is one of the comments she objects to, which is an attack and which she considers an insult. You are risking your life and the life of your child. That's the comment that she is upset about. So if you tell someone, oh my God. You know that in this country, if you are a teacher, a first responder, a social worker, a caseworker, there's a bunch of different jobs, a nurse, a whole bunch of different everyday American jobs that working class people have, where if you see some parent doing something that endangers the life of their child or themselves, you have to report it because otherwise it's a crime. In our country, it's a crime for a lot of people if they don't report that kind of danger. And here we see that this woman is making a video, or maybe it's a smuggler that paid her to do it. I don't know, but this is some smuggler sponsored BS telling people this is an insult. If you make any kind of critique, question behavior, or point out the danger to yourself, to your life, or to your children, you are being a jerk. You're being you're insulting and attacking migrants in the caravan. I can't even believe this.
Pero esos hombres que van ahí no pueden ponerla en medio. Bueno, hay personas que sí entienden eso.
There are people that do understand this.
Pero como les digo, en esta caravana van muchos tipos de personas.
There's a lot of different kinds of people that are traveling in this caravan.
Tanto buenas, regulares. No voy a
Some good, some regular.
decir que malas porque no conozco a todos los que van ahí.
But I can't say that they're bad because I don't know everyone.
Pero sí tuve la oportunidad de viajar en la caravana 2018.
But I did travel in a caravan in 2018.
Y pues no fue una de las mejores experiencias de mi vida, pero
And it wasn't like one of the best experiences of my life, but
sí estoy agradecida
buffering. But I am very grateful to God because I arrived where I needed to go and I arrived in good health.
a Dios. Los mexicanos se portaron excelente. Y pues gracias
The Mexican people were excellent.
a ellos llegamos donde llegamos. Hasta buses los pusieron en ese entonces.
And thanks to them, we arrived where we needed to go. In fact, they even provided us buses back then.
Pero lastimosamente algunas personas andaban haciendo relajos, otras andaban haciendo
But sadly, some people in the caravan were, doing their shenanigans
cosas indebidas que
and misbehaving.
por lo mismo. Dicen que por una pagamos todas y es
And, because of that, they say that, everyone, good people pay for the bad people.
cierto.
And it's
Pero
true.
no podemos cuestionar, generalizar a todas
But we can't question everyone or generalize.
por solo una o unas, ¿verdad? No todos somos iguales. Es triste y lamentable, se le llega a caer esa criatura, pero
It's so sad and lamentable. She goes on reading another comment. What if that child were to fall?
que Dios los cubra con su manto y que lleguen bien a su
I hope that God covers you with his mantle and that you arrive safely.
destino. Exacto, es lo único que le podemos desear a estas personas que decidieron salir del país.
Yeah, and that's all really what we can say to these people leaving their country.
Suerte, muchos ánimos.
Give them hope. Give them, wish them luck.
Y que Dios los guarde. Démosles
And tell them that God will protect them.
ánimos, las esperanzas que nunca se pierdan.
Hope is the last thing to get lost, and we must give them hope.
El único que tiene el control de todo esto es el de arriba, el
The only one that controls everything is the man upstairs,
grande, el Señor de señores.
the Lord of Lords,
Y pues es Dios.
and it's God.
Me llamó la atención una señora que dijo que eran vagos, eran delincuentes.
Another comment from a lady said that the people in the caravan are vagrants and delinquents.
Ella no los conoce a todos para estar juzgando. El único que tiene que juzgar es Dios.
She doesn't know each and every one of us in order to judge us, and the only one that can judge us is God.
Uno, hermano, no tiene que juzgar a nadie, porque uno tiene que empezar a ver lo que hay en la casa para mirar lo que hay afuera. No, señores, no seamos así. Dicen que el peor enemigo de un catálogo
You have to look within your own home first before you start judging other people.
es otro catracho. Y yo pues estoy viendo, ¿qué es eso pues? Pero el país está como está. No los apoyamos unos a otros.
We have to support each other, Hondurans to Hondurans. That's why our country is the way it is right now, because we don't support each other.
El pueblo con el pueblo, solo miren esta imagen. Ustedes pueden observar cómo yo voy a venir a insultar a una persona de las que va ahí. No sé qué situación tienen en su casa, no sé.
So, again, you cannot just insult people that are within the caravan without knowing their situation. I don't know what their situation is at home.
No sé si tienen de comer, no sé si tienen empleo o no
I don't know if they have food or jobs.
tienen empleo. Es fácil cuestionar, pero es difícil ponerse en el lugar de esa persona.
It's easy to question, but it's hard to put yourself in their place.
Usted, que es catracho, debe de darle fuerzas a las personas que van ahí, darle
If you're a Honduran, you should be encouraging those within the caravan.
ánimos. porque ellos sí tienen el valor de salir del país
because they have the courage to leave their country
a buscar una vida mejor.
to seek a better
Yo
life.
respeto todas sus opiniones, pero lo que no me gusta de esto es que pues ofenden. Yo leí muchos
I respect everyone's opinion, but what I don't like is people that are offensive.
comentarios ofensivos hoy en la mañana. Y pues para muchos medios es fácil criticar. Es fácil criticar, les voy a decir. ¿Por qué? Porque ellos tienen su empleo.
And in the media, there's a lot of people making statements and criticisms, and it's easy to do, and I'll tell you why. Because they have a job.
Ellos tienen su buen sueldo, ellos tienen su casa, ellos
They're making good money, they have homes.
no andan alquilando, no andan pidiendo fiado en las pulperías.
They're not renting, they're not asking for layaway, they're not asking for credit at the grocery store.
No andan pidiendo prestado a los prestamistas con intereses.
They're not going and asking for payday loans.
Entonces para ellos es fácil cuestionar a este tipo de personas que deciden salir del país y pues,
And that's why they critique the people leaving the country.
¿qué les puedo decir, hermanos? Sigan adelante, si ustedes ese es su sueño.
So what do I say to my brothers and sisters? If that's your dream, you go on ahead.
Sigan adelante y que Dios los acompañe.
Go forward, God will be with you. An ad sponsored by the smugglers. Wow. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it, kids? I think I'm going to keep that. And boop. Oh, I had some things to tell you. Caravans broke barriers in Guatemala. The caravan that's in Guatemala currently broke police barriers. In the morning presser with AMLO, Mexico's president, he said that the majority of the caravan that has arrived in Mexico that left on the 15th are in the cities of Tenosique and Tapachula. And he also said that Mexico is offering 2,000 jobs to Central Americans to try to get them to stay. Central to say that they will not be requesting third safe country asylum in Mexico or other Central American countries, and that they will press forward to the U.S. Meanwhile, Mexico says it will not allow itself to be used as a passing through country. Interesting stuff. I forgot I wanted to give you that little bit of information earlier. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Whoever said that it was easy is crazy. The media only UNETV and the yellow dog understand what we're really going through. So UNE TV and the yellow dog are pro-caravan propaganda machines. And we know that's true for Perro Amarillo. Perro Amarillo traveled with the caravan. I know there's people watching right now who know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to UNE TV and Perro Amarillo. This person says, Yo me fui, I left on the 12th of October on caravans that reached Tijuana. And I got all the way up. It was good. Yes, I got all the way to Tijuana. Okay, same thing. You got to Tijuana? It's a great advancement, don't you think? Of course it is. Yes, a lot. And then this thing in here, I don't know what this is. Let's put it over here and find out. The president of Guatemala confirms that he will allow passage into Mexico of the Honduran caravan. So there's conflicting reports here. This one comes from Radio Comunitaria Estéreo Namastegi 89.1 FM. So it's a 89.1 FM radio station. Is this Guatemalan or Honduran? I think it's Honduran. Okay. Back to our chat. What's up, dudes? Nobody's speaking. I only see people leaving and leaving the group. Are you backing out? Tranqui, tranqui. Calm. Cool it. Everything is going slow. The 31st will arrive soon. I'm leaving tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to Sabo from San Pedro Sula. Can somebody please tell me where Sabo is? Where is it? And then somebody drops a map. It's like, Sabo, right there, dude. So you're in Tegucigalpa. You got to cross into Guatemala. And you got to come up here to Sabo, which is on the border of Mexico. You see that? Some of Mexico is on top of Guatemala and a little bit on top of Honduras, like Quintana Roo and the Yucatan Peninsula. Whoops, back we go. Sabo is on the border of Guatemala and Mexico. I just said that. Oh no, they left me behind. Somebody says, I'm about to enter in Tabasco. That's one of the states in Mexico. Somebody says, oh no, they left me behind. Where is your meeting point? And learn what route they took. I thought it was through here. So this person thought they were going this route. This is in Mexico. Puebla, which is near Mexico City. And they're going over here, looks like, to Guanajuato. From San Pedro Sula, they're going to the border at Corinto. From Corinto, you take a bus to Morales. And from Morales, you go to Elena, Petén. And then from there, you go to Sabo. Don't lose your wits. I'm from Guatemala, Reta Hululu, whatever the heck that means. I guess it's the name of a town. Somebody says, thanks for the info. Thanks for that. Everybody's getting thanked for...
No, cualquier persona que necesite alguna información sobre la frontera del Seibo, me puede escribir a mi WhatsApp personal. Yo le voy a dar información porque yo he pasado varias veces por ahí. Y no se preocupen, ánimo. Mucho ánimo, amigos, y pues Dios va con ustedes.
Linda says, hey, anybody need any information about crossing at Sabo? Get at me. I will message you and I will tell you how to cross. I've done it many times. And don't worry about anything because God is with you. What the heck is this? Oh, this is the article we heard before.
Lo que hoy vi en las noticias también que hay algunos muchachos que están yendo en buses y los están bajando porque...
I also heard in the news that there are some people traveling in buses and they're being detained
en grupos cortos.
Because they're in small groups.
Entonces hay que tener mucho cuidado con eso, amigos.
So we got to be very careful of that, my friends. Thanks, sister. Of course, it's well said, Josue. We all got to meet up in a big group, and then we can go out like 5,000 strong. So that people can see that we are powerful and that we can. And with the help of God, we will achieve it. Yes, we will. God is the only one that is traveling with us on this road. No, I think Lester the Molester is in there somewhere. I think they warned you earlier about him. Remember that guy? Yes, he's the only one. They're talking about God again. He's the only one that can open doors for us. Even if the lion is hungry, we should not fear. Very biblical people here. They're just quoting the Bible to each other. Quoting the Bible. De aquí de Oriente, from the east. They will not let us pass. They will not let the Honduran brothers pass, or the Salvadorians. We're going to take cisterns of gas with us with the intent of opening the border. That is what some of the soldiers are saying at Jutiapa. What? Vamos a ir a dejar cisternas de gas con la intención de abrir fronteras. What? Vamos a, okay, I'm trying to understand cisternas de gas. I just want to make sure I'm not going crazy. Okay, that's not how you spell it, but in English, it is gas tanks. Okay? I'm not crazy. I am not nuts. They are talking about dropping off gas tanks at the border with the intention to open borders. Are you reading this? Are you understanding? Abrir fronteras means to open the border with the intent. With the intent to open the border. Even English speakers can understand this, right? Can you understand this? We're coming from the east and they will not let us pass our Honduran or our Salvadorian brothers. We're off gas tanks with the intent to open borders. That is what some of the soldiers are saying at Jutiapa. Maybe they're going to use tear gas? I don't know. Whoa. Well, some type of gas? But why are they saying to open the... I don't know. So we're going to meet up on the 31st. Yep, those are the plans. Don't get lost. Blah, blah, blah. That's how we should talk. Those who risk nothing gain nothing. Yes, and for all your sacrifice, you will have a recompense. And then there's praying hands. Excellent, friend. That's true. We will have a recompense for all of our 100. It's true. That's how you talk. What's going on here? What is this? This is just a TV channel and all it says is follow this channel. What is that about?
Puchica, envíen el video, hombre, no todos tenemos el internet, no tenemos internet todos.
What?
Puchica, envíen el video, hombre, no todos tenemos el internet, no tenemos internet todos. Puchica, envíen el video, hombre, no todos tenemos el internet, no tenemos internet todos.
Something about watching the video and not all of us have internet. ¿Qué es eso? What's that? Somebody asks, what is that? Somebody laughs.
Sí, por favor, por favor.
Yes, please.
Bueno, feliz noche, grupo. Espero que Dios les guíe y les ilumine sus lindos sueños. Hasta mañana, nos chequeamos.
Good night, everyone. This Chapin 504 strikes me as one of the smugglers, too. Whenever they try to whisper talk and right next to music, I suspect them right away. Because it's just such a jerk move to make it very, very hard to understand what you're saying, especially when you're giving directions and information. You know, like he's talking about a guy that's selling human beings, that Dios te bendiga dude, and he's in a train or something. Like he couldn't go somewhere more quiet or try to talk louder or whatever so people understand these important instructions about not getting sold into slavery. You know, I don't buy it. Where's the caravan? Some people say they're in Santa Elena, but I don't. And says they're in Santa Elena, Petén, Guatemala. Stupid question. Of the border of Mexico and the USA? Yes. I'm going that way. We're going to reach them. We're going to reach our goal. That's why I asked the question.
Buenos días, compañeros. Espero que todos estén bien y que estén alistando las cosas para irnos el 31.
Hey, I hope everybody's okay and everybody's ready for the 31st.
Hay que ponerse serios con eso, señores. No hay que andar jugando. Esta caravana se va el 31. No hay otra. Esta es la que se va el 31.
Hey, and let's get serious. No messing around. This is leaving on the 31st. There isn't another caravan that is leaving. This is the one that's leaving on the 31st. What? Please be serious. Our people, and this is a Honduran flag, our people are not migrating. They are fleeing. Good group. Good day, group.
Buenos días, buenos días.
Really? Good morning. That's it? We're ready for the 31st. Leaving at 5 in the morning. The caravan is going to meet at the terminal at San Pedro Sula. Same message. Again, we have to be punctual because we are waiting for the caravan to leave exactly in the morning. Young people in the group will wait until 5 o'clock in the morning. On Friday, the 31st of January at 5 o'clock in the morning, the caravan will leave. Before we leave, we're going to ask our Celestial Father to bless us on our adventure because we are going to reach our goal, which is the American dream. Hello, hello, hello. Good day, good day. Somebody's drinking coffee. They're talking about God. They're drinking coffee and talking about God. Yo solo les diré algo. Soy hondureño y si vivo. I'm Honduran and I live in Mexico. And if you come into this group, it's because you have families and you're joining the caravan. I'm also Honduran and I'm in Tapachula, Mexico. Chiapas. And this other person says, I came in 2017 with the caravan. And the same organizer of the caravan sold us and in Medias Aguas, and then he went ahead, kept going with the rest of the caravan. So don't believe too much. And don't leave your families and friends forever. Stay together. May God illuminate you. I think this girl's going to get her message deleted. Oh, look at that. Message deleted. I bet they're going to throw her out too. She keeps talking like that. She's saying, I was in a caravan and one of the coyotes sold me. So, you know, we know that people were getting sold by their coyotes. And here's proof positive that it was happening in 2017, that it's been happening in 2018 and 2019. It's a business, folks. And I'm getting a much better understanding of how it works. We're learning together. What did we learn today? There are dispatcher coyotes. They're just kind of telling people where to go. Sometimes they travel in the caravan. Sometimes they don't. Nobody seems to know what they look like. And they sell people. There are sub-coyotes. There are subordinates, middlemen, right? No como me eliminaron del otro grupo diciendo que somos infiltrados. Oh, this person says, not like what they threw me out of the last group. I was an infiltrator. And the leader and organizer of the caravans is a Mexican, in case you didn't know. What? Is his name Irineo Mujica? Is his name Hugo Castro? Or maybe you ran into Alex Mensing and thought that he was a Mexican, but he's a gringo. By the way, Irineo Mujica is a dual citizen, just like Pendeja for fraud. I mean, Paloma for Trump. They're dual citizens, a lot of these frauds. And they go back and forth. And it's because they can go back and forth, because they live at the border, because they can cross people, or they cross people and things. Remember, people like Pendeja for Fraud, who are friends with smugglers like Sophia, whose real name is Christina. You guys remember that lady that bit the cops in Tijuana? Everybody remember the smuggler, the trafficker that bit the cops in Tijuana? That was friends with Paloma? You guys all remember the video in which Paloma and her husband, Jean Nadim Faraon, were forging purchase orders and then registering them? You know what that's for? You know what you fake purchase orders for? And, well, Pendeja for Fraud told you in her video, because the agents at the border crossing believe that these notarized and stamped and approved Mexican documents are real purchase orders, even though they're forged and all the information on the documents is fake. And people that work at the borders and live at the borders and have dual citizenships and have businesses and things in the United States get used and get caught up in these smuggling operations a lot. I see patterns. I don't see dead people like in that movie. I see patterns. I can understand how this is very easy for, and if you don't have a job, or if you're just a grifter, or if you're unskilled and you don't have anything better to do than to stalk people or to be a homeless grifter like a lot of these con artists are, getting a chunk of change for crossing people and things across the border or hurting people through the countries, it could be very tantalizing.
Gente, le voy a decir algo. Quiero que tomen nota de lo que les voy a decir a todos.
People, I want to say something to you, and I want you to take note of what I'm about to say to all of you.
Este mensaje lo voy a reenviar a los demás grupos.
I am going to be sending this message to the rest of the caravan groups.
A nosotros, el año pasado que nosotros salimos, a nosotros nos estaban... Se había metido mucha gente filtrada de México.
Last year, when we were traveling in caravans, oh, you done this before, huh? He says, there was a lot of infiltrators in the caravan.
México, de Estados Unidos.
Oh my God, listen, there was people in the caravan from where?
El año pasado que nosotros salimos, a nosotros nos estaban... Se había metido mucha gente filtrada de México, de Estados Unidos.
De México y de Estados Unidos. From Mexico and from the United States. here's a smuggler in the caravan admitting in this recording that the caravan was infiltrated by a bunch of Mexicans and Americans. What have I been telling you from the start?
Y nos echaron paja, que esto y lo otro, que los militares, que los estatales, los federales, que aquí, que allá.
And they told us all this nonsense about the states, governments, and the federal governments, and this and that.
Vaya. Ese día que nosotros nos dijeron que no nos fuéramos a tirar por Tecumumán,
They would tell us don't cross here at the Cunuman
que nos iban a estar esperando los estatales, los federales.
because the federal police or the state police or this and that were going to be waiting for us, what have you.
Y saben que nos estaba esperando los municipales.
And you know who was really waiting for us? The municipal police, the local police.
Más bien ellos mismos nos dieron jalón hasta Tapachula.
In fact, they were so nice to us, the municipal police were, that they gave us a ride to Tapachula.
Entonces, como les digo, no le paren bola al poco de estúpidos, disculpando la palabra, que hay en los grupos de nosotros.
So don't listen to some of the, excuse my language, stupid people that are joining these groups.
Mandan eso solo para perjudicarlos a ustedes.
And then this guy says, I live over here in the United States, and there are some people that need help. And if there are some people that need help, I would be very glad to help them. For me, it would be a pleasure. And their name is Donald Jr., and they have a phone number that doesn't look like an American number to me, because you usually don't have to dial a +1. Am I the only person that's noticing this, or what? Thank you. They, some of these surrogates, these sub-coyotes they have in here talking, that are either soothing people, or I call it some kind of voodoo, because that, like, oh, if God wants you to cross the border, there could be thousands of soldiers and you can walk right over their faces and God will make them blind or some bull crap. That is usually news delivered by a woman in these chats. They have women come in here and say stupid things like that, and also say things like, God puts angels on the road. Don't worry about bringing your papers or having any money. God will help you. I had my son join a caravan 2 years ago, and I didn't talk to him for 12 days, and he's doing great. So, stop looking for your missing children. I mean, those kinds of sick, disgusting, insensitive messages are frequently delivered by subordinates of the coyotes who are women, like Sonia. Remember that crazy Sonia friend of Pendeja for Fraud? Remember the kinds of things she used to say? I did a whole show talking about this biatch. And what is she was always saying to anyone, any reporter that came up and talked to her or caught her in her little circles where she was instructing the migrants? What are you doing here filming me? She would get all angry and like rabid, and they would say to her, what's your name? And she'd be like, what's your name? Why don't you identify yourself? And of course she gave everyone in the media a fake name. So Sonia Vargas or something like that. Her real name is Christina something. So I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But Deja for Fraud put her post on with in the media, calling her by her right name. So I know that she knows that was a fake name too. But my point here is this woman always talked about God. As she barked at the authorities, as she chewed off somebody's ear or face, she was, always talking about God. And the reporter's like, my name is so-and-so. What's your name? She would say, "My name is Sonia Vargas and my father is God." So these people use God as a shield, and they use women to deliver bad news. To the person that said that they traveled with a caravan in 2017, who is living in Mexico, I want to know more about your experience. Is the travel difficult? And this person responds, or Linda says, I went in the 2018 in the second caravan and everything was hard to get. It's hard to get things that you need. Until we arrived in Tijuana, we had to suffer heat, rain, cold, but with the help of God, the road was made short. And sorry about the buffering once again. Many people on the road hitchhiked. Some people were giving out free water, medicine, and clothes and food. Even buses were provided for us from Sonora to Tijuana. Some people gave out money for the buses or would go on buses. But many got pulled out of the buses and had their money taken. You have to be very careful with the infiltrators in these groups who claim to be Honduran. It isn't good to talk about personal things with people that are strangers. I mean, personal things like if you have family in the US or not, because that's one of the most common questions they ask, so that they can start to determine who has family and to be able to con them. Remember who kept asking everybody whether or not they had family in the US? The crooked lawyers from al otro lado. And then this person says, thank you. Cualquier duda me mandan mensaje privado para orientarlos. Any questions you may have. Linda Rodriguez seems to be answering a lot of questions for folks. Kronos. Thank you for offering to help. Hopefully we'll all meet up. Linda says, together we can do great things, of course, with the help and direction of God. And then Linda posts a picture of what looks like the border wall.
Miren amigos, así está el cruce de Guatemala con México.
Look, friends, this is the crossing between Guatemala and Mexico.
Están cerrados los portones.
And the gates are closed. But normally, they're always open, she said. This picture was taken from inside Sabo. This picture was forwarded. López Obrador offered 4,000 jobs. Oh, I guess he offered 4,000, not 2,000.
Vienen en caravana migrantes, porque seguramente me lo van a preguntar, de Honduras, de El Salvador, alrededor de 3,000.
Around 3,000 migrants are coming from Honduras and El Salvador.
2,500 a 3,000.
3,500.
Unos que quieren entrar por Tapachula.
Some are coming through Tapachula, Sabo,
Tenosique,
Tabasco.
Tenemos más de 4,000 empleos.
We have over 4,000 jobs for them.
En la frontera sur.
On the southern border.
Desde luego, albergues y atención médica,
And of course, we have shelters and medical attention,
todo,
everything.
pero trabajo en nuestro país.
But also jobs in our country.
Se ofrece eso.
We offer them. There you go, folks. Right from the horse's mouth. Man, you know how many people are unemployed in Mexico? Mexicans that are unemployed? I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't offer them employment. I'm just saying, like, I just don't see these kind of efforts made for nationals. It's really sad that they don't do more for all the deported Mexicans going back to Mexico. Because that's a big problem. There's a lot of people that are getting deported back to Mexico as well. And some people are going to cross in Naranjo. It's the same place. If you're going to cross in Sable, you get off at the crossing, and then you wait for a minibus that will take you to Naranjo. See, she's giving people instructions. 4,000 jobs are offered by the president. What do you think? People are posting a lot about that. This person says, I was at Tapachula and I was never able to find a job. Laugh emoji. I thought it was at the border of the United States.
Eso es exactamente bien dicho. En Tapachula es casaca, así nos dijeron nosotros cuando fuimos el año pasado, que nos iban a ofrecer trabajo. Y a la hora, busqué y no encontré. Solamente personas que tengan papeles mexicanos le ofrecen trabajo.
So this guy, once again, one of the people I suspect of being the smugglers, one of the top smugglers in here, he says, that's right. He's talking about the lack of jobs in Tapachula. That's he agrees with. Yeah, we went through there last year and it was dry. We tried to get jobs. There ain't any jobs. Only the people that have Mexican papers, legal papers in Mexico, can work. But now there is a program for migrants. What is it? Message deleted.
Que enseñen el programa, pues. Ustedes que están en Tapachula, manden ahí fotos para ver si es cierto. Y uno poderse animar, pues.
Well, if you say there's some programs or whatever, why don't you send some proof, like a picture or something? What's the program for the immigrants?
Buenas chicos y chicas. Estuve monitoreando la caravana que se fue el 15 y...
Hey kids, I've been monitoring the caravan that left on the 15th.
La verdad es que sí se llevan un buen desorden.
And the truth is that there's a lot of disorder.
Unos no saben ni cómo llegar al Ceibo.
A lot of people don't know how to reach Sabo.
Hay unos que todavía están en Esquipulas.
There's some people that are still in Equipulas.
Otros van por otro lado.
Some of them are going another way.
Entonces, yo supongo que nosotros no vamos a hacer eso, pues.
So I'm hoping we're not going to be doing the same thing.
Hay que ir organizados desde acá.
We have to organize everything from the get-go.
Ya que nos vamos a reunir en San Pedro.
Since we're meeting up in San Pedro.
Hay que ir todos bien coordinados. Me he enterado también de que
We have to be well coordinated. I also found out that
ellos allá ya los está esperando la policía.
police is already waiting for them over there.
Así que tienen que tomar otra ruta.
So they have to take a different route.
No, espero que nosotros no hagamos esto, pues.
So I really hope we don't end up doing the same thing.
Ir así esparcidos nos debilita.
Because getting split up into smaller groups makes us weaker.
Mientras que así en grupo, pues, ya somos mucho más fuertes.
Together in a group, we're more powerful.
hay muchas personas que las han dejado botadas. No debería de ser así, pero sí están muy desorganizados y
And there's a lot of disorganization in their caravan, and it shouldn't be like that, but it is.
espero que no seamos así nosotros.
But I
Espero
hope
que
we're not like
nosotros sí
that.
seamos unidos.
I hope we are united. Yeah, they're very disordered. We all must stay together. Yeah, but we should try to meet up with the people on the 15th because we would be a bigger number of people if we did. Yes, we'll pick up with them, the group of the 31st. Yeah, we're going to meet up with them later. So they're criticizing the other group, but they're hoping to meet up with them because then there'll be a bigger number of people. And God willing, that He gives us the strength and the wisdom to be united, because if we're together, we'll be more powerful, and separate it will go badly for us. Yeah, I hope that we are more orderly than they were, because there is a lot of shenanigans, and that could also be very ugly. Those of you on the road, we ask that you wait for us, that those of us leaving on the 31st, and then we can make a bigger group, and then we can leave. And with the help of God, everything is possible. But you always have to put your faith and put in your effort. Okay.
Muy buenos días, disculpe, les estoy preguntando esta pregunta, que por qué fronteras irá a tirar la caravana este mes de 31. Quisiera saber.
What border are you crossing? Once again, same question. The people of El Salvador, and their answer to this woman is Aguascalientes, Santa Rosa, Copan. The people of El Salvador, join a chat for the caravan that is going to be leaving, and we'll meet up with you in Guatemala. The heck is this? Look at the number of people that are in all of these groups. I can't, or can I? Caravan for the 31st. Created by Paola, August 1st. 275 participants. Huh. "20 participants in this one. 105 participants. 188 participants. 257 participants. These are all different caravan groups.
Se están uniendo bastante gente.
A bunch of people are coming together.
La última que hicieron hace poquito solo tiene 20 personas.
The one that has the least amount has already 20 people.
Hay bastante gente en los grupos.
So there's plenty of people in the groups.
Voy a reenviar este audio a todos los grupos para que escuchen. Hay bastante gente, se está uniendo mucha gente.
So I'm going to put the same message in all of these groups so everybody can hear. There's a lot of people coming together.
Ojalá y todos lleguemos al punto de encuentro. Así salimos todos de un solo.
I hope that we all
Buenos días a toda la banda.
reach the same meeting point so we can all leave together.
Quería preguntar si alguien de este grupo es de Intibucá, pues ya que yo soy de acá de Intibucá y pues me voy a unir a la caravana, lo que es el 31, y pues si va gente de aquí pues sería mejor porque ahí nos conocemos toda la banda ahí.
I have been removed. Okay, folks. That is all. To the bottom of it. I started somewhere around here. Once again, very eye-opening what I learned. And we got to see some of this yesterday, what they were talking about, so I think it's very interesting too.
No porten pasaporte, pero que viajen con sus padres, pues se le hace el debido impedimento de salida del sistema. Y menores que no vienen acompañados con un adulto responsable son remitidos al DINAF. DINAF luego busca a los familiares. DINAF los traslada a Santa Rosa de Copán y luego se comunica con sus familiares para que vayan por ellos. En el caso si va la mamá y es una madre soltera, pero el menor tiene el apellido del papá, tiene que tener el permiso de salir. Así es, para que un menor salga del país legalmente, necesita un pasaporte, viajar con ambos padres. Si no viaja.
In order for a child to leave the country, they must travel with a passport and both of their parents. Otherwise, they have to have the legally designated approval of the other parent. So you can't just have like a note from dad that mom is okay to take baby to the United States. You feel me?
Viaja uno de los padres por dar autorización del que no viaje. ¿Se lleva entonces detenido aquí? No detenido, se le hace el debido impedimento de salida y debe regresar a su casa.
So those people traveling, and you've seen this in this conversation, asking, hey, I don't got a passport for my kid. Can I still take him? And they were told yes. They were told to go ahead and do it.
Hola, ¿cómo están? 1,500 with 1,500 limpiras, you can arrive in Mexico. And if you're with a caravan, that much money will allow you to eat for 1 month. Un mes. More than a month. For more than a month. Look at the kinds of claims they're making about what you need. With that much money, you can eat for a month over there. It's cheap. Es barato. And from there, all the way, hasta allá, all the way on the road, they give you food and water. They give you food and water. So we've seen people being instructed not to carry a lot of clothes. They don't need to carry a lot of money. They don't need to have ID, and they will be provided food and water. You see that? You guys see that?
Grupo, quiero que me confirmen ahí si es en Santa Elena que se van a reunir en Santa Elena o no sé. Ahí mándenme ahí a confirmar porque algunas personas ya regresaron y no sé, esa caravana se desorganizó, no sé por qué, y puchica, ¿qué es? Unión. Entonces confírmenme, porfa, si en qué reunión, en qué lado nos vamos a reunir, pues. Es que estamos cerca aquí de Río Dulce, entonces estamos cerca y no hayamos por dónde agarrar, pues aquí hay un grupito y no hayamos por...
Oh, she's annoying. They want to rob you. Don't listen. You won't need money. Be careful, because sometimes on the road they will want to take away your 5,000. Don't leave the group when we're on the road. They were more powerful sticking together. Somebody must have talked about money. I want to hear about this. Is there more?
Vaya, entonces, si tiene usted cartas de defusión o difusión, no sé cómo le llaman a eso, cómo le llaman en Honduras, llévelo para que usted lleve eso para que confirme que él está muerto, porque con pasaporte y el acta de nacimiento, no sé si la tiene a la mano, lleve todos sus documentos del bebé y los suyos, que confirme que usted es la mamá y que el papá ya no sabe que por eso va usted.
Dina Pérez tiene razón. Estaba viendo las noticias y están pasando reportes de que sí, que en varios lugares están quitando a los niños, no los están dejando pasar. Y obvio, si no dejan pasar a los niños, uno se detiene también, pues.
So this woman is explaining to another woman that must have asked a question about bringing her baby, that she should bring the death certificate to prove that the dad is dead, and that's why he isn't traveling with them. And then this other woman says, yeah, he is right.
Dina Pérez tiene razón. Estaba viendo las noticias y están pasando reportes de que sí.
Oh, she was watching the news and she was seeing news reports that, yeah, they really are taking people's kids and they're not letting them cross.
Que en varios lugares están quitando a los niños, no los están dejando pasar.
And they're not letting people
y obvio,
pass.
Si no dejan pasar a los niños, uno se detiene también, pues.
You know, and if they don't let your kids go, you can't go.
Pues la verdad, que yo llevo los documentos del niño, que él no tiene su papá vivo, que hace 11 años que lo mataron, por eso que le estoy confirmando eso, que me lo confirmen bien ahí.
Oh, so she said that her dad, yeah, the truth is that my son is been orphaned. His dad died when he was 11. I know I'm going backwards here, but...
Buenas tardes, compañeros. Les quiero comunicar algo, que cuando salgan tomen precaución. Dicen que no están dejando pasar a los que llevan niños. Lleven su documento en regla, porque acabo de hablar con los compatriotas que van adelante y me estaban diciendo que eso están diciendo, pero allí lo que mi consejo es que mejor por el río, porque arriba los están deteniendo.
She's confirming that she's talking to people that have already reached the border with their kids and they're detained, they're stopped, and they're returned. So don't be real careful. Make sure you got all your documentation. If you're traveling with your kids, do not expect to get through the borders without proper documentation. They are taking kids away from parents who are trying to cross them, you know, travel internationally with children that they don't have documentation for. This is common sense. I don't know why we saw messages telling people, don't worry about it. Remember they said, we're all wetbacks, so who needs papers?
Ok. Yo queríamos saber si en la terminal entonces sería en la terminal de buses, de la terminal de San Pedro. Ok, ahí estaremos pues.
We're talking about semantics there.
Bueno, discúlpeme, ¿a dónde mero el punto de la reunión de la dicha caravana que sale el 31 de...
Okay, that's enough of that, guys. I have been removed from this one. So this is all I'm going to
No, pero lo mínimo necesito saber, porque voy con otra muchacha yo aquí que necesita saber con cuánto dinero se puede viajar para el norte. Confírmelo.
Oh. So she was asking about how much money she needed to get all the way to the north, you know, to the U.S. $5,000. Limpiras are not the same equivalent of money as dollars, so 5,000 is not $5,000. I heard a guy talking today about the cost of living. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on, guys. I'm going to turn my screen for just a moment and see if I can find it, okay? Just give me a second here. No. Who sent this to me today? One of y'all sent me something about the cost of living in God dang it. Anyway, I'll just tell you what it said. The guy was talking about the kinds of jobs that unskilled labor with no education can do in Central America, and one of the things that they do is agriculture. It's just similar to the way that things go here, service industry, agriculture, factories, blah blah blah, right? Unskilled labor is usually pretty hard work, and you have to use your body, right? So there, one of the main agricultural products is coffee, and they pay per basket or bushel or whatever of coffee. I don't know what their units are there for the coffee, but they pay per bucket or whatever the unit is of coffee, and they get a total of $6 a day, basically. 25 limpiras a day. 25 limpiras is the equivalent of $6. And that's what someone makes a day. And this man was explaining that here in the United States, even the lowest wage job, you can make more than $6 an hour. Even the lowest wage job, you can make more than $6 an hour. So that's, 25 limpiras per day just isn't enough for them to eat in their home countries. Whereas if they come here, they can make as much as they make in a whole day there in 1 hour here. And they can, continue to do that and do that and do that every day. And if they, get a small apartment with a bunch of their friends and sleep in it like sardines, they can save enough money to go back to their countries where, low wage laborers only make $6 in a whole day and start up a little business, or, buy themselves a truck, a flatbed truck, and turn that into within, a year, 2, 3 things at years that, that they're working here. So what I'm trying to say is that the incentive to come to the U.S. is very high. That, however, does not excuse the fact that most of these folks are using our asylum process to do it when they don't have valid asylum claims. Okay, folks, I am tired of reading, so I am done for today, but please stay tuned and share this if you haven't shared it yet. Please share it to your groups and to your page. This is incredibly important information, likely to disappear. Save the video, save the information, and share, share, share. Also, make sure to follow 88.1 FM. Make sure to follow 88.1 FM, Fargo Moorhead. You can find the rest of our programming on kpppfm.com. If you're in the Fargo Moorhead metro region, you can follow us here on 88.1 FM. I will be doing more of this. I'm probably going to get out of these two groups now that I've been kicked out of this one already. You can see I'm no longer a participant, so I'm just going to leave for the 15th, I think, because these notifications on WhatsApp are eating my memory, and they're driving me nuts. But thanks for being here and sharing, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend, folks. Happy Friday. Oh yeah, thanks, Nemo. Folks, please support our work. We're starting a new year. my New Year's resolution is to have more funding, better equipment, and be able to bring you real independent media. I want to do a lot more collaborations with my colleagues in Mexico and throughout the United States and in places like Puerto Rico. I want to bring you the best news and news that you really don't see anywhere else. So please considering making a tax deductible donation to our work. Thanks again, folks. Good evening. Have a great weekend.